Today is Thursday, Parashat Shofetim. Typically, the Torah doesn't tell us the reason why a certain commandment is given. It doesn't say, you do this commandment and the reason for it is A, B, C, D, or whatever the reason is. And we accept the commandments as divine, they're coming from Hashem. And even if we don't understand the reason for certain mitzvot, we still fulfill them. That was the idea of Naaseh v'nishma, that the Jewish people say, we will fulfill the mitzvot even before we understand the reason and the meanings behind them. And as we fulfill the mitzvot, Hashem will grant us certain understandings. But we do it because they're commandments from Hashem. And typically the Torah doesn't tell us the reason. But in the parasha of this week, the Torah goes out of its regular mode and tells the king he shouldn't have many horses, and the reason for that is so that he doesn't take the people back to Egypt, because that's where the central market for horses in the world was. And if he has many horses, he's going to have to go back to Egypt, and we should not go back to Egypt, the place where we're enslaved. And another mitzvah that he was told, Lo yarbelo nashim, he shouldn't have many women, he shouldn't have many wives. And the reason for that, the Torah tells us, because if he has many wives, there could be some that will sway his heart away from Hashem. These reasons that are given in these mitzvot to the king, King Solomon, who was the wisest of all men, thought to himself, these do not apply to me. I can have many horses and not go to the Egyptian markets to get horses from there. I can have many wives and none of them will be able to sway my heart. So the reason that was given in the Torah, Shlomo HaMelech sort of like reasoned that the reasons for it do not apply to him. And he justified the action of having many horses and having many wives that he married. And he stumbled in both those situations. He had some issues with wives who sort of swayed his heart, and he had some issues with the horses and going back to Egypt. And from this, we understand why also the Torah doesn't give us the reasons for mitzvot. Because was the Torah to give us the reason for mitzvah, then people would say, this reason doesn't apply to me. I can do against what these commandments say, and I will still not be impacted by the reason why this thing or that thing is forbidden to do. So it's a great thing that the Torah doesn't give us the reason in writing in the Torah for each mitzvah. Otherwise, if the reason was there are many people that will say, this doesn't apply to me. Or they find reasons as the world progresses in different directions why that issue that was there is no longer applicable. One of the examples is we're not allowed to eat pork. The Torah doesn't tell us why. It just says, you don't eat this type of animal. Some people come back and say, well, the reason is because there are certain parasites and it's not healthy. Was the Torah to say the reason why you don't eat pork is because it's not healthy? If there will be scientists that would develop some medicine to take care of the bacteria that is found or the parasites that are found in the pork, then you'd say that reason no longer applies, and therefore you can eat pork. Why? Because now there is no risk in terms of health, in terms of the dangers of the parasites that live in the pork meat. But we know that no matter what happens in terms of whether they're able to take care of the parasites or the bacteria or not, pork is forbidden. And the Torah doesn't give us reasons for the mitzvot, so we don't find ways to justify to transgress them. Because ultimately, it's all divinely inspired. And we as with our limited human intellect compared to divine rulings, who are we to say, I must understand before I fulfill the mitzvah? No. You accept the mitzvot because they come from Hashem. As as you fulfill them and as you learn more, you may be able to understand more the reasoning or more of certain aspects, deep understandings of the mitzvot, but you fulfill them first, even before a reason to fulfill the mitzvah. And Hashem give us many mitzvot to fulfill, so that we will have many, many merits in fulfilling them. Baruch Adonai le'olam, Amen ve'amen.